Hello, everybody. If you can hear me, welcome to the live for this week. Welcome, everybody. I'm going to just go ahead and go live a few minutes early than what I was scheduled on here, but I'm sitting here anyway, so I figured why just wait another 15 minutes. So, hopefully, if you have notifications turned on, you will hear or see that. So, hey, everybody. Let's see. Let me make sure I have the live chat showing so I can see your comments. Hello, friends. How's everybody's week going? I feel like I look lovely today. It's been a day. Um Hi everybody. Hi. So I told you guys on the community tab it would probably be between 8:30 and 8 I said between 8:30 and 9. Set it for 8:45, but I'm sitting here anyway, so I figured I'd just go ahead and go live. And hopefully you guys get notified. So come on in. Hey everybody. Hey, hey, hey. I see everybody coming in and saying hi. Just a reminder, as you're coming in, you do have to be subscribed in order to leave a comment. Um, so you have to be subscribed for like 5 minutes before it'll let you leave a comment, and that just helps cut down on the trolls. So, welcome, you guys. If you have a comment or a question or anything you want to ask me or say, I'm here. We can chat for a little while. How's everybody's week going? Hello from Florida. Ooh, South Jersey. Wow. We don't know where we're moving to. We have no idea. We will see. Um, oh, thank you so much, Crystal. I'll have to look into that. All right. I am doing really great. I look okay, so today was virtual learning because we had parent teacher conferences, which means we got to sleep in a little bit, but I don't know, I look like I just haggard today. um all right, let's see. If you have a comment, let me know. Hi there from London, Ontario, Canada. Oh my gosh, welcome. Yes, David's been in ministry our whole marriage. Um When we were dating even, he was part-time in ministry, so hey, Miss Judy. The kids are doing great. They are in bed, probably not asleep, but they're in bed, so, they're tired. Hamilton, Ohio, welcome. All right, you guys, so if you have any questions or comments, now's a good time before the chat gets really behind and I, take forever to get to it. What are you guys drinking tonight? I have this is my 3rd one today. It's a problem, but I love these LaCroix. My favorite is the limoncello. It's so delicious. Hey, Stephanie from Utah. Welcome. You guys, if you want to help me out, you can like the video and share it. We can see how many people we can get to join us tonight. So we have had a good day. Like I said, it was virtual learning today. And I had to have parent teacher conferences on top of that. And then Grammy and Grandpa also left. So that was a big fat bummer. We missed them already. It was so good to have them here. How does my fasting weight loss work? Basically, fasting is awesome because while you're not eating, you're not releasing insulin and your blood sugar is very stable. And so you're burning fat when you're fasting, especially like towards the longer, not like fasting 12 hours, but the longer you fast, it's even more. So that's kind of the basis of it. And also, when you're not eating, certain hours of the day, that adds it always people always say, well, it's calories in, calories out, and that really helps with that. But I do think it's a little bit more to it than that. But if you're not eating, you're not eating. So that helps with weight loss. Um, yes. Oh, you're just drinking water. That's the best. I've just not felt water today. Usually I have my big water cup here and I'm drinking it during the live, but I'm just not feeling it today. So I'm having this sparkling water. So, yeah. Okay. Tucson, Arizona. Welcome, Miss Gidget. Diet Dr. Pepper. That's a good choice. That's my husband's favorite. Water, water, you're fasting. I do like the beach. I do not like the beach with kids because it's not relaxing at all. It's super stressful. Nate loves the water. He loves it so much that he scares us and he tries to run off and to go too far in the water and he tries to run down the sand. And it's just really, I'm hoping it gets better as he gets older because he loves it. But it's just really not safe. The last few times we've been, it's just I just stay petrified the whole time. But I do like the beach. I think it's so peaceful. How long did it take me to get just a black coffee? You know what? I don't know. It took me a little while, but I just went kind of cold turkey and started just drinking black coffee, and you do kind of get used to it. So, well, I'm so sorry that you think you have the flu. Ew, that's awful. And like, there's been sickness going around like crazy. I don't know why. I mean, I guess it's because it's still winter. Hopefully, as we get into spring, it's going to get better. But mm, Mark just got his flu shot this week because I was like, we are not the only person left is Lucy. So I've got to get her flu shot. And I'm like, we are staying away from the flu this year. It's awful. I hope you feel better. Yes, there definitely has to be a Mexican restaurant, and the kids are very hopeful that wherever we move has a Chick-fil-A. So we will see, but definitely Mexican food, which I feel like most places have Mexican, right? Everywhere that we've ever been has Mexican. Like we here in our small little town have like 6 Mexican restaurants. So we actually had Mexican again today for lunch. It's always a favorite. Hello. Aw, thanks, Angela, for stopping in. I hope you recover well. Get lots of rest. Rachel, we had a very like everybody just kind of do their own leftover thing for dinner because we had a big lunch. So there wasn't anything exciting. It was just like everybody picked their own leftovers out the fridge. So it was not exciting, but we had such a big lunch. My favorite Christian artist. That's a really hard question. I like a lot of different Christian music. I really like worship music more than like Christian like music, which is similar, but so I know, but I still don't know. I don't know. You guys let me know what's your favorite Christian artist. I really like this new girl I just started listening to. I think her name is Sarah Kroger, like Kroger, the store. But I really like her song, Belovedness. If you have never heard that song, go listen to it. It is so good. It's like my new favorite song, but it's really, really, if you're going through a hard time, just remembering how much God loves you and how beloved you are to him. It's just a beautiful song. Um, Yay, Haley. I'm so glad you're here. Heads up, I'm thinking about moving the live to Tuesday next week. I think that's going to work out better for me, but I'll let you guys know for sure. Just a little heads up. It'll probably be Tuesday next week, and then I'll let you know the week after that. But I like Thursdays too. They're fun. All right. Any weekend plans? Here we go again. No caller ID is calling. I don't even have my phone in this room. I purposely left it out there. But it rings on my computer and I can't make it stop. So I'm sorry, y'all. And I don't know why the no caller ID happens every single live. I never get those calls except now. It's really weird. No really big plans for the weekend, which is nice. Me and David are in the middle. You'll see in tomorrow's vlog. I think, yeah, tomorrow's vlog. We're in the middle of going through stuff and decluttering stuff because, and I guess I didn't make this really clear on the vlogs. We don't have like a plan to move yet, but we know that moving is coming. So our philosophy and thought is let's go ahead and declutter a lot of stuff so that we can get rid of stuff. And then, when it's time to sell the house and pack and all that, it'll be a lot easier than having to clean out stuff and declutter and pack at the same time. So yesterday we went through the garage, cleaned a bunch of stuff out, our closet. I went through my wedding memorabilia that I really haven't gone through in like 13 years. And it was, oh, y'all, my wedding bouquet like turned to ash. I had dried it and all of this. And I used to display it like in our house and it looked pretty good. And then I put it in this box and it like turned to ash. So it like ruined a bunch of stuff. I like went through all this stuff and I got rid of stuff because I was like, why do I have every single wedding card we ever received, like hundreds of cards. And like I haven't looked at them. I appreciate our wedding guests. We have pictures. I get my wedding guest book and all of that, but just all the hundreds of cards. We just did a major declutter. We still need to do more, but that's kind of what we're in the middle of now. So I imagine this weekend is going to be more of the same, which is very overwhelming. It's been super like overwhelming, but it also feels really good to like, I keep thinking, okay, everything we declutter and get rid of is something I don't have to move, So that's my like motivation right now. Okay. Let's see. Bob Evans is really good. We got takeout from there a couple nights ago, and I think you're asking me maybe, unless somebody else said they were having Bob Evans. We got takeout from Bob Evans the other night, and I love their bacon cheeseburgers. My favorite like burger that I get to go sometimes from there. Yeah, Cody Carnes is really good. He's married to Carrie Job. I like both of them. Air fried chicken wings. Oh, I'll have to check her out, Angela. I like Danny Goki too, and I love Brandon Lake too. I don't know about Tasha Layton. I'll have to look her up. Katie Nicole. I'll have to like go back in this chat and like get all of y'all's suggestions and look up. I really like Casting Crowns too. Some of theirs are really good. I like a lot of different Christian music. Oh, wings in the air fryer. You guys are talking all about their best tips. Yeah, I have a love-hate relationship with decluttering, and every time we do it, I'm like, "We are gonna declutter as we go. We're not gonna bring a bunch of crap into the house. We're gonna" every time we move, we declutter, but it's like a constant thing you have to do. We just moved 2 years ago, but when we moved here, you guys remember, most of you probably, we had lived with my parents for 10 months. So all of those, probably half or over half of our stuff we hadn't opened, that whole time we were living with my mom and dad. So we just brought it all here. And a lot of it, like the kids' old toys that they kind of outgrew during that time. And just like bedding and towels and all this stuff we hadn't even opened boxes. And they've been sitting in our garage for 2 years. So we had to go through all that stuff. The cool thing was Mark is like the perfect age for some of the toys we found. Um, and we got to like give some of Nate's whole toys to Mark, and he's been having fun with them, but I'm like, that's not getting rid of them. So, well, we did. We took like a whole van load to Goodwill. We have a bunch of stuff that we're gonna have to take to the dump, the landfill, because it's like just trash. And so it feels good to declutter, but it's also like, oh, super overwhelming because we've done a lot in the garage. We did our closet, which was a mess. And under our bed where like my wedding box was and a couple other things, memento things, but like all the kids' rooms need to be gone through. The kitchen needs to be gone through. I'm just like, oh, I wish I could just hire someone to just pack it all up. But we'll get there. I just keep telling myself a little bit at a time, but then I get going, and like yesterday, I way overdid it. So Chris Tomlin is good. Oh, I really treasure all my wedding stuff too, but the things I treasure the most are things that weren't in that box, like my wedding video and all of the um, pictures and stuff. And I did save some stuff. Like I found a whole folder that I had kept from our honeymoon of like, we went on a cruise, all of our cruise itinerary, um, like the hotel we stayed at, like our little room number thing. And like, it was really sweet, some of the stuff, but then some of it was like just a bunch of cards. And I think I saved like 20 napkins from our wedding. I'm like, why do I need 20 of them? There's a lot of pictures that I'm like, we have these digitally. So we were able to pare down like a big box of wedding stuff to like a little one. So I think now that I had to just throw away my bouquet because, like I said, it turned to complete ash. And I would rather remember it fresh and beautiful, like in the pictures and the video I have, than like all disgusting and gross. So, anyway. Anyway, that was our day yesterday, and you guys will see it in the vlog. I show you the bouquet of ash. I show you, like, old pictures and my garter and all this stuff, but it was we wanted to do it while David's mom and dad were here because they could help watch Mark, and we were, like, totally dedicated to cleaning stuff out, but I way overdid it. We did too much, and then I was really sore yesterday, and anyway, I need to, like, slow it down a little bit. Oh, yeah, Jeremy Camp is good. I got to see him in concert one time. I forget when. It might have been like a winter jam or something. You got to meet him. That's awesome. We are doing good, Kelly. Hopefully, all of you are doing good. Yeah, Crystal, we're really hoping to buy a home. Hopefully, it all works out. I think so. I mean, at this point, like renting an apartment is going to be more expensive than buying a house. As long as our house sells here quickly and all of that, we're hoping that we can just buy another house because apartment life is so stressful. And it's honestly, we paid the same, like our rent at our apartment in Georgia was about the same price we're paying for our mortgage. So I just hate it. And like every year, they increase the price and all that. Thank you so much, Lauren. They are cute. We love them. They're a mess too. Oh, you just got home from being gone all day at a doctor's appointment. I hope everything went well and you can rest and relax now. It's always good to be home after a day like that. Oh, I'm so sorry you're going through a rough patch. Inch H. We will be praying for you. We're going through a rough patch too. So we can relate, and we're going to get through this. Like, you're going to have good days, good seasons, bad seasons. And if everything was like perfect, it wouldn't be life. Like everybody has bad seasons, but I'm sorry to hear that it's been rough. Aw, I love that. Anna's home cooking. That's so sweet. I'm so glad that you can watch while you eat your breakfast every morning. I love that. Thank you so much, Latoya. Oh, Ashley, I'm so sorry to hear that you have COVID. That's awful. I hope you feel better very soon. Hey, Jessica B. Kelly, we don't know. We don't know where we're moving to. We will let you guys know as soon as we know. There's nothing for sure yet. David has a few different things he's, kind of people he's talking to and stuff, but nothing for sure. So when we know, we'll let you guys know. But right now we're just trying to get ourselves ready to list our house, which is not going to be till we know something, but I figure I don't want to wait till then and be stressed out. So we're just decluttering stuff. I know when you sell a house, they want it to be decluttered. Like people are going to open your closets and, your cabinets and stuff. And right now, if they did that, it would not be pretty. So we've only been here 2 years. How in 2 years does it get to be such a mess? I don't know. It's just and I feel like I do a really good job of purging stuff continually, but still it's just stuff comes in so easily. So easily. I will definitely have to read Isaiah 60:22. I'm going to write I'll make some notes when you guys tell me something, and then after the live I can do that. All right. Aw. Sunday will be 1 month that your fiance and you have been engaged. Congratulations. That is so exciting. Did you or David ever attend Creation Fest in Pennsylvania? No, we haven't. That sounds interesting. We have not ever done that. Creation Fest. We went to the Creation Museum, and that was a lot of fun. But we did that when we visited Cincinnati. What was that, 2021? That was fun. I love Cincinnati. Is there a time of year that ministry jobs are more in demand? I don't know. I will say it seems like more jobs are open now than they were when we looked before around this time, like a couple years ago. But that was right in the middle of COVID and everything. So I think that was a hard time. That season of looking for a job, a ministry job during COVID was extremely hard because churches had a hard time during that season. And a lot of them weren't looking to hire people. So this one's been a little bit, seems like there's more openings and stuff right now, which is good. David says first of the year and during summer. There you go. I guess like that's when churches are like making decisions and stuff. I don't know. I feel like though, if it's God's right time, his timing's perfect and it could be any time, all you need is that one place that you're supposed to be. So food and home prep, you need prayers for your son. We will definitely be praying for him. I'm sorry to hear that. Um, it's a hassle, but are you excited to move and have a fresh start somewhere new? Yes, I will say, as hard as it is to move, and the whole process of moving is exhausting and scary. And the main thing I worry about is transitioning the kids and all of that. It is exciting to think about moving to a new area. I love when we move to a new area and we get to like explore the town and figure out like what stores are there and what restaurants and fun things to do that are different. It is really fun. And then you can kind of explore different cities near you. And we've lived in some beautiful places, really great places that we, still have great memories of. So it is fun and exciting. And it's exciting to like purge stuff and think about moving in fresh somewhere, kind of, paring down stuff and clutter. That's exciting. Okay. Do you think you guys will be moving somewhere in the Southern US? Um, I hope this is my hope. I don't know. Like, we don't know. We don't know. But my hope is to move closer to Alabama as opposed to further away. Right now, we're about 7-ish hours from my mom and dad, and a little less than that to David's mom and dad. And that's extremely hard. It's hard. We're very close to our family, with our special needs son and everything and our kids. It's just hard to be that far away. So I can't imagine being further away and not getting to go home as often because, like, 7 hours, I can do that by myself with the kids. Much further than that, it would be really hard to do. So I'm hoping that we'll move at least closer. That's my goal. But, God can do what he wants. And I'm sure if it's the right thing, it'll be the right thing. All right. Inza, you just finished a workout, showered, and now having coffee. That sounds lovely. Sounds lovely. Wish you could come to Iowa. We actually interviewed in a church in Iowa. When was that? And that was before we moved to Georgia. So it was kind of narrowed down in our minds between this church in Iowa and the church in Georgia. Me and David flew out to visit the church in Iowa. It was beautiful, but it was like in the middle of nowhere. It would have been like moving to like a different country almost. It was such a small town. We think this is a small town in Indiana. This town in Iowa is so small. But we had fun. It was a fun time to visit. Like they had no restaurants hardly. But yeah, see, a lot of David said we interviewed in Iowa in 2016. Yeah. And so we visited there, but then we went to the church in Georgia and we knew that was the one. So we ended up not going to the church in Iowa, but you never know. It was a beautiful place. We used to have a walk through Bethlehem around Christmas time. Oh, that's cute. That sounds cool. I love like church programs and stuff, especially the Christmas ones. I know like COVID and all of that has kind of made it hard to have stuff like that, but those are always really special. I'm sorry to hear that, Pam. Yes, can you guys imagine that Mark is already 3? Can you believe that he's already 3? I can't. It's crazy. It's just crazy. I feel like I just was telling you guys that I was expecting and then having him, being pregnant and having him and all of that, and it's, like, crazy how fast that has flown by. It's just he's growing up so fast. All the kids are. Um Yes, I'm so glad that we don't have to do it alone, like, we have each other. I can't imagine going through this and not having my husband and my family and all the support that our parents are to us, and it's been extremely hard going through this, but we haven't felt like we're alone in it, so that's great. Mark did like his present, so he got a couple of sets of Duplo blocks, like the toddler Lego blocks. He has been playing with them, and Lucy too. Lucy loves them. She has the like real Legos, the little ones, and he plays with those too with her. But she's been loving the Duplo ones and building new things. And then he also got this. It's a Sam's brand, but it's like a little people airplane set from Grammy and Grandpa, and all the people fit on the airplane. It's so cute, and they even have like a little luggage full train truck thing, and he pulls the luggage around. It's really cute. And then we got him like all the snacks, you know. I told y'all I was just gonna buy him snacks, like stuff he could use up because I'm not about to buy him. He has so many toys, you guys. It is really sad. I need to go through and get rid of some because there are some he doesn't play with. We need to save them and donate them to my little nephew Ollie because he'll be 1 in May. And so he's a great one to save stuff for. But Mark has so much stuff that his room is like busting at the seams. So we got him a bunch of different snacks, and he thought that was awesome to open. David's family, it was so fun having them here. You guys, I cried and cried when they left today because it was just such like we've been having such a it's been such a hard time. Like I just feel so weary from it. Like just the day-to-day stress of it. And having them here was like a breath of fresh air. It was awesome. And it was just like it gave us something else to think about. And they're so encouraging and they help us so much. Like the kids, like his mom always is like doing laundry and cleaning. Bless her heart. She doesn't really get much of a vacation when she comes here, but I just appreciate them so much. And I miss them already. It just sucks. Okay, you're getting your tooth pulled tomorrow. Oh, Latoya, we will be praying for you. The dentist is not one of my favorite places at all, and I feel for you. Hopefully that goes smoothly, but we'll definitely be praying for you. Yes. You grew up on 100-acre farm. Wow. That sounds very peaceful. We don't really have much weekend plans. Not at all. Like I said, we're going to be decluttering. Excitement there. I really need to get into the kids' rooms because like Lucy's has like all these she has so many toys too. We just really need to downsize some of the stuff we have. So me and David have been doing that process. And in that process, you know, when you're decluttering stuff and somehow it just makes a bigger mess than what you started out with, because, like, stuff we were going through in the garage, we're like, "Oh, no, we need to save this or put this here." So we just brought it inside instead of putting it right away. It's just kinda sitting on the counter, and I'm like, "We just made, like, such a big mess in our room." There's still some boxes, there's still little things out that we haven't put all the way away yet, so it feels like it's more messy even though we're decluttering, and, I need to get a handle on it for my own, like, mental health. Yes, aren't we so glad to have Jesus? I can't imagine going through life without the assurance that he has us. You know, as stressful as this season is, how much more stressful would it be to not believe that you are in God's hands? You know, I know at the end of the day, God's going to take care of us. We've never been without anything because he's always provided and he's always directed our steps. If I didn't have that assurance that he was going to guide us through this process, I would be a basket case right now. Like, I can't even imagine because in all the stress that I feel, I do have a peace that he's got it. And I wish I could get a handle on the stress and like fully just let it go. But it's, you know, I am human too. So I'm working on it, but it's not easy for sure. But I'm so glad to have that assurance. Yes, the Hallmark movie towns. I feel like that's kind of like where we live now. This would be a perfect set for a Hallmark movie. We have the downtown with the little stores and the coffee shops, and it is like a Hallmark town here. You're going on a date night with your husband. That sounds awesome. I wish I could do that. Yeah, we haven't been on a date night in a while, but that sounds awesome. My son loved those and he was little. Aw. Yes, the Duplo blocks they're a lot of fun, and, the kids have been having a blast with them. Oh, thanks so much, Constance. That is so nice of you. You've been a subscriber for 3 years. Oh, I love that, and thank you for watching when you get ready for work. I have people that I watch every single day, so I think it's so cool that you guys watch me, um, and, like, I'm part of your daily routine because I definitely have that with other channels, so it's really cool. Hello, Tamara. Alright. Yes, it is hard to ask for help. It is that is one thing that is so hard for me is to ask for help. I would rather do it all myself than to ask for help. It's extremely hard for me to do that, but it's important to realize that sometimes you have to ask for help. Like, people don't know that you need help unless you ask for it, and there's a lot of people that are willing to help you. And it's not always good to take everything on yourself, you know? But I'm the same way. It is so hard to ask for help. And, you know, I get it. Allison, that's the same thing I do. You give it to Jesus and then you're like taking back control and worrying about it some more. That's exactly what I do. I'm like, okay, God, but I don't know if you've thought of this, like right here. I know I've given you this whole situation, but have you thought of this part? Because I'm kind of worried about this. And I'm like, I'm sure he's up there like, I know. God is so patient and he can take our questions and he can take our feelings. And that's what I've really tried. Sometimes we bury our feelings and we say, like, well, we're not having enough faith. So let me like push down all of this worry and let me push down all of this anger and let me push down all of it. And we don't deal with it. We say we give it to God, but we kind of push it down and then we lash out at our family and, it comes out in other ways. So I really tried, it's hard, but I really tried to like let myself feel the feelings, pray to God, and He can take your anger and your hurt and your upset. Like He can. Your family probably can't. That's not the right place to let it out. But he can take all of that and just like learning to, if you don't feel the feelings and you're constantly stuffing those feelings down, I don't think you can heal. And so we need to be really careful that we're letting ourselves feel the feelings in a positive way, in a way that God can heal our hearts. Because if we're just like, I'm just gonna keep bearing the feelings. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to do anything about it. At least for me, like I have to let it out. And the best way to do that is to let it out with God. He's our safe place. He can handle you being angry and not understanding. He can handle all of that. But he is very patient and he's very understanding and he loves you. And so many times I think we see God as like this harsh, you know, he's not like he's a dad. Like, what would you not do for your kids? And so just in those times of going through hard times, we can lean on him and we can vent to him and we can, cry to him. It's okay. That's how your heart's going to be healed. Just not processing stuff and just pushing it down and pushing it down. It's important to feel those feelings, I think, to heal, if that makes sense. Okay. Yes, asking for help is definitely a sign of strength, not weakness. That's a good point, Shannon. It is definitely something that shows that you're a strong person if you can ask for help. Because trying to do it all yourself is not a sign of strength. It's like a sign of like being in control and being scared to ask for help. And like that's how I had people when I was pregnant with my babies be like, let me come over and fold your laundry. Let me come over and make you dinner. Let me bring you this. And I'll be like, no, it's okay. I've got it. But I didn't have it and I was overwhelmed. And I remember this one time, I don't know, I think Lucy was a few weeks old and she was having all this choking. I've told you guys about this before, but she had a really bad acid reflux. She would choke in her sleep. And I could not sleep because every time she choked, I would have to get her up and like clear her airway. It was horrifying. And so I wasn't sleeping. Nate was 2 and he wasn't sleeping. And y'all know the issues we've had with him with sleep. And I just completely, I was, I was in a very bad place. I was exhausted. And I remember it was a Sunday and David was getting ready for church. And I just told him, like, you can't leave. Like, I can't do this. Nate had been up all night. She had been up all night choking and all this. And he called. This is so unlike me. If you guys know me, this is I cannot even believe I was in a place where I would even tell him to do this, but he called some ladies from our church and he told them what was going on. And we had like 3 ladies come sit with me during church. Like they missed church. And I still could like cry thinking about that because that it meant so much to me. They came in, they took my kids and they told me, go get a shower. Go get a shower, take a minute. We've got this. They did my dishes, they cleaned my floors, they watched my babies, and like still to this day, like they were like the hands and feet of Jesus to me, and it's such a special memory to me. And I'm so glad that I asked for help. And so instead of that day being like me, you know, crazy exhausted, they just uplifted me. And then I had someone else come and sit with me during the evening service. And I look back and I'm like, these ladies probably thought, what is wrong with her? But I was so in a bad place. I was so exhausted. We had no family. And still to this day, that was just like, it like makes me cry to think about. Okay, I'm gonna get back to y'all's chat here. What are we doing for Valentine's Day? That's a good question. I have no idea. Um, the kids have Valentine's parties. So I'm getting together their Valentine's. Lucy's already filled hers out. She's like ready. She's been so excited. She wanted to do it when my Grammy was here. So she's filled out her Valentine's. I just found some for Nate tonight. So we're going to get his ready. I got the teachers like a little box of chocolates, but I'm not sure what we're going to do. I always give the kids like a little Valentine's goodie basket. So I've been slowly gathering stuff for that. I don't know what me and David are going to do. Maybe we'll do like an at-home date night kind of thing. Okay. Aw. Okay, my chat is like all behind and I'm trying to scroll back up to it. So if I missed your question, I'm so sorry. Okay. You love watching Lucy and Nate interact. Your son is 11 with autism and my daughter's almost 9. My daughter isn't your son's comfort. Yeah, your daughter is your son's comfort person. That's the exact same. And they are 2 years apart too, Nate and Lucy. They are like best friends. If you ask him who is your favorite or who's your best friend, he 100% of the time says Lucy. They love each other so much. They have such a special relationship. And honestly, when we had him, he was dying. Here we go again. When he was diagnosed with autism, I remember thinking like, what kind of relationship are my kids going to have with each other? And just praying about how is our home life going to be, and how is this going to affect Lucy. And it was like a hard time, just like wondering how that was going to work out. But like seriously, they are like best buds. While Grammy and Grandpa were here, they slept in the same. They obviously like when we have a company come, they take Lucy's room because it's like the only like twin, that's not twin, queen full size bed anyway. It's the only place that anybody can sleep. So she goes and sleeps with Nate. He has a bunk bed, so she can sleep on the top bunk. He is like thrilled when she gets to sleep in his room. And it is just the sweetest thing. And so, I was thinking about, as an autism mom, the hardest thoughts are to think about like what happens when I grow old, and what's going to happen to Nate? Like, who's going to watch out for him? And I was praying about this like a few years ago. Like, God, like it's so scary to think about. And he just reminded me he has Lucy. Like, she's going to look out for him. She's going to be his advocate, and you don't have to worry about that. And it is, I really believe that God gave such a beautiful gift to Nate and his sister, and she's just the most amazing sister, and he is such a good brother to her. He looks out for her. He does not want her upset. I mean, if she's ever crying, he is like on her, giving her hugs and kisses. Like, he just loves her so much. So, okay. So yes, I have not done any shorts while we had company. It's just been too busy, and I've been trying to keep the vlog going. And honestly, I really haven't been doing a lot of long fasts. I've just been enjoying time with my family, which is why I love fasting, because you can kind of change it up. But they will be coming back soon. I've missed doing them too. Yes, I love doing OMAD because you can enjoy food without guilt, and I've been getting so many comments the last few days from I call them the food police, and they talk about like, "Well, that's not healthy," and "Why are you eating this?" And I'm like, "That's why I love OMAD, that you don't have to be the food police, like, I can eat what I want, like, this is the whole point of OMAD." But they like to like, if I had to eat a certain diet and only eat 1 meal a day, like, I could never stick to that. How unrealistic is that, you know? I try to make good choices. I don't go out and eat a dozen donuts, I try to make I have a brain. I try to make, somewhat, food that are gonna make me feel good, but I eat what I want too. So, oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, David says he remembers this. It's probably I wonder, like, looking back, like, what everybody thought when I was having, like, they thought I was having a mental breakdown or something. I don't know. They probably just are like, "This sweet new mom, she is in over her head," but I cannot believe I was that desperate. Like, I don't ask, and it was like we sent out a blanket, like, SOS to some ladies at the church, and they weren't people I was really, like, comfortable with. Like, they weren't, like, my closest friends or anything, and they were so good to us. They even brought me breakfast. I remember somebody handing me, like, a sausage biscuit and a coffee and being like, "Go take a shower." It just meant so much to me. Um, hey, Sandra. Hey, everybody. You actually designed your own Valentines? That's pretty cool. I thought about doing that for Nate because, y'all, I don't know what's going on with Walmart. I went tonight to look for Nate's. Well, I went like last week when we picked out Lucy's, and I was going to go ahead and get Nate's Valentines. They didn't have any boy ones. The only boy ones they had were some like superhero, but I don't remember what it was. It wasn't anything that Nate was into, so I didn't get them. And then when we went back tonight, I was like, let me just look and see if they have anything for boys. So we went to the Valentine's section. They had 1 pack of Valentines left, and they were Wonder Woman. I'm like, "This is our choices." I mean, I know Valentine's Day's Tuesday, but they still had plenty of candy and stuff like that, but no Valentine cards. So I went over to Kroger and I found some just they're like foods on skateboards. They're like pizza and french fries. It kinda looks like Nate. So I got that and some candy. But before that, I was like, "Well, if I don't see any at Kroger, I'm just gonna, like, make my own." But this will save me a little bit of time, so I went ahead and bought them. But that's a good idea. Well, Crystal, I'm so glad that you have enjoyed eating 1 meal a day and you're losing some weight. That's great. Like, so many people are asking me right now, "How much weight have you?" Like, that's the number one question. How much weight and I think it's random people who know nothing about OMAD, but their question is, "How much weight have you lost?" And I really just don't like answering that question because I don't want people to expect huge weight loss at first. So the fact that you've lost some weight is actually really great. But it doesn't happen like that for everybody. It can be really slow because your body's just trying to adjust. And they say too that if you have things inside that your body's trying to heal, it may concentrate on healing something. Like there's funguses that have been healed, like all kinds of crazy stuff. Eyesight. Sometimes your body will kind of do that, which sounds crazy, but autophagy is actually a real thing. And weight loss comes later. So I don't really like telling people to expect big weight loss. But anyway, the fact that you lost weight is awesome. You're getting your taxes done. Oh, boo. Valentine's Day will be a self-care night. That sounds awesome. I like that. I may have to do some of that self-care, do like a bubble bath. When I was going through my closet, I found face mask and even like a foot mask I didn't know I had, and like what are those under eye patch things? And I thought I need to use these. I keep telling myself like, let's use up body wash, let's use up shampoo, like no more buying new stuff. Like let's use this stuff down. So I need to remember to use that. Hey Jess from the Alvey family. Hello. I'm glad to see you on. All right. Yes, Nate loves when Lucy sleeps in his room. He loves it. He was not happy that she's back in her room tonight, but she loves sleeping in her own room too because we let her have some reading time. And so when she's in Nate's room, I give her like a little flashlight to read a book, but it's not the same to her. But she loves it too, but she's glad to be back in her own room. Anyway, good night, Darlene, if you're still here. Thanks so much. The haters don't really get me down. It's just more of like an annoyance, It's like I've just stopped answering them, which I don't know. Maybe that's gonna make it worse. I'm not sure. Maybe I should just block them. But after like the 20th time of like, how much weight have you lost? I'm like, it would be like me having to explain a whole thing, So, I mean, I have lost weight since doing OMAD, but I'm not down like a 50 pounds or anything. Like it's been very slow. But honestly, like I've noticed so many other benefits that far outweigh the weight loss. So I'm okay with it. Allison, any updates on your migraines since going off birth control? If you'd asked me this a few days ago, I'd have been like, oh, I'm doing good. I haven't had a migraine all month. But then I had like 3 days in a row where I had a migraine. So I'm not giving up hope. I do think that it may take my body, several months to kind of adjust to being off of them. So we'll see. I'm hopeful, but I mean, I don't know. Not sure. Fingers crossed and a lot of prayers that they're going to go away because migraines are of the devil. I will say though, the 3 days I had the migraine, I was still able to function. They weren't like to the level where I'm like in bed. So that's good. They were just kind of annoying. Fasting definitely gives you food freedom. To me, it's been so much easier to just not eat than to like count points, calories, and eat all the time. And you're just constantly hungry. Just not eating is so much easier to me. So, oh, thanks so much, Starla. I think it would mean a lot to me if I was able to help someone in that kind of a situation too. And maybe there'll be a time where I'll be able to help someone like that. Being a new mom is so hard. And Nate was 2 years and 3 months when we had Lucy. He was still in diapers. And, we didn't know yet that he had autism. We knew he was I kind of had a feeling that there was something going on, but we didn't know for sure what it was. He had a hard time sleeping. He was up all hours of the night. And then I had Lucy choking. Like I was a zombie. So they really blessed me that day. And I know it would have meant a lot to me if I was able to help someone like that too. So how I feel about moving. I feel okay. I feel good about moving. If I didn't have to like do it, like pack it all up, organize it all, like that's the part that I'm just like tired. I'm tired, y'all. We've moved so many times over the years, and it is an ordeal to move. It is exhausting, and we've never like sold a house really. And sold a house and bought one kind of at the same time, and that's probably what we'll be doing. So that part stresses me out and just, like, all of the work it's gonna be, moving the kids' schools and all of it. But in terms of, like, being in a new place and a new area and, learning about another state maybe or, exploring the town, learning about a new church, all of that is really exciting. So the good news is the stressful part, I think, is gonna be very condensed, it's not gonna last forever. It's gonna be like the whole moving process, there's an ending to that. So that's good. But it is kind of overwhelming to think about, and I'm not looking forward to the process. So you lost 30. That's awesome. You know what? I like to think when I get discouraged, like I've only lost this amount of weight or whatever, is to think about how much that feels like. Have you ever picked up even a 10-pound bag of like dog food or something? Like that's heavy to like carry around all the time. I mean, Mark weighs 36 pounds and he's heavy. I can barely hold him for longer than like 2 minutes now because he's so heavy to hold and walk around with, like, he feels really heavy. But if you only lost 36 pounds in, like, a year, you would be like, "Oh, that's not a lot." It is. Sorry, I just kicked the computer. Okay, I'm gonna try to get back here. Use the characters of your books to make valentines. That's awesome. You eat about 2 meals a day. Too mad. That's awesome. Yes, they don't get it. Like, people are like, "Well, if you want to lose even more weight doing OMAD, try doing keto." I'm like, "This isn't about let's lose if you wanna lose more weight, how about you just drink protein shakes and never eat food?" I mean, how far do you take that, you know? You have to be able to, like, live with it, and that's the hard part of dieting. There's a lot of stuff we can do for the short term, but most diets are not long-term maintainable. What I love about fasting is most, like, let's see, the last 4 or 5 days when David's mom and dad have been here, I've eaten lunch and dinner and some snacks. Like, I've not had really long fasting times. That's okay. Like, it's okay. I can jump back on OMAD tomorrow if I want. If you want, like, some people think that you should not fast real long on your period week. Okay, I do sometimes and I don't sometimes. It just depends on how I feel. But I love that you're not, like, off track on that. Like, if I was on Weight Watchers and I said, "I'm just gonna take the week off," like, I would totally mess myself up, and it'd be hard to get back on. But OMAD is so flexible. Fasting in itself is so flexible. That's why I love it. Thank you so much, Allison. How do you mom with a migraine? It's not easy. It is not easy. If I did not have there are times where David has to just step in because I cannot get out of bed. Those are rare. The migraines like that are rare. Usually I can function. Thankfully, I have my prescription medicine that usually will stop it. This past week, David's mom was here to help a lot. I did lay down a couple of times to try to get it to help. Even like a couple of days, I took a hot bath. I've told you guys this before, a hot bath where I constantly scoop water and put it on my head. That has gotten rid of a migraine several times, a bunch of times for me. And so just kind of learning what helps, but it's hard. It's really hard when you have responsibilities. I know there's people who work and have to deal with migraines. It's not easy. But you just do the best you can. And again, ask for help. If it's one of those days where I can't get out of the bed, because I'm in so much pain, then David will step in and he'll work from home, or he'll call in or something. Like, it just how it is. I wish we had family nearby. It would be a little easier, I think, because we'd have extra help, but we've made it work. It took you 6 months to stop getting migraines during ovulation after getting off birth control. Well, Shelby, that gives me a little bit hope that even though it took 6 months, it seems like it's better now. So I that gives me hope because my doctor basically was like, sometimes getting off birth control will help migraines and sometimes it'll make them worse. So I'm like, don't tell me that. So, um, birth control pills really messed me up. They caused migraines, lasted 2 weeks and I was done. No more migraines. Yeah. Um, I feel like I've always the migraines have definitely gotten worse over the years, and basically my doctor thinks they're all hormonal. But I've had migraines a lot too, like my whole life. And so I remember before we got pregnant with Lucy that I went off my birth control pills for a while because I was having really bad headaches. And I remember that time before we had her that I was not getting migraines. And what's interesting is during my pregnancies, I very rarely had migraines, if all. So that to me is hopeful that maybe this will help. I'm really hoping. It's one of the big reasons that David had the vasectomy and all of that was to hopefully let me to come off birth control and not have migraines. So it's really going to be sad if all of this and I have to go back on them. I'm really hoping not. Like, I'm really hoping. Hey, Brenda. Well, thanks so much, Latoya, for watching. Do you rent your next place versus buy? I don't know. Every time we've looked into renting, it's been way more expensive than buying, like monthly. And I feel like with buying, you're there's a possibility like there's a possibility that we could sell this house for more than we paid for it. When you're renting something, you're just kind of throwing money. I mean, that's not coming back to you, if you know what I mean. So I don't know if the right thing came available and it was a good price and we could rent, I'd be fine with it. But my preference would be to buy. Do you have a wish list for your new house? Something you realize you want that maybe you don't currently have? That's a good question. Um, I this is like a long shot. We have technically 4 bedrooms. Lucy's is it I can't list it. We can't list it as a bedroom because it doesn't have a closet, but it's a bedroom. And we have 4. So that's a pretty I mean, it's hard to find a house that big. I would love to have 5 bedrooms though because we don't have a guest room. And so that's like a dream. It may not happen, but I think it would be really nice to be able to have a guest room and have it made up and have, especially if we don't live real close to family, have people come stay with us. And I'd also like to have, like, we have 2 bathrooms, but only 1 shower because we have that weird handicap shower that we never use, which is also gonna be kinda weird to sell, but maybe the right person will like it or they'll want to rip it out. I don't know. We looked into ripping out that shower. It's gonna be like $5,000, so we were like, "Never mind." But it would be nice to have more bathroom space because we basically all share 1 bathroom, and then we just have an extra bathroom that has, like, a toilet and a tub. So, but I don't know. I would also like a fenced-in backyard if we're just gonna, like, talk total wish list. We don't have a fenced-in backyard here, and I think that would be really nice for the kids and for Layla. But I'm not super picky about lots of features in the house and stuff like that. I don't have to have big bedrooms or big rooms. Like, I'm really comfortable with a smallish house. It doesn't have to be a huge house or anything. I like all of us being kind of close together. I just want it to be in a good school zone, in a good friendly neighborhood. But we'll see. That's a good question. You put a little sweetener and half and half in your coffee and you drink cold brew. I say whatever works for you. For me, I really like clean fasting, but like David, when he fasts, he puts creamer in his coffee. And I say, like, if that's going to keep you fasting, it's better to do that than to not do, to just eat all day. So I'm glad it's working for you. That's awesome. Aw, Super Mommy 4, you're a postpartum doula and you love supporting new moms after birth. That is such a blessing. I never had a doula, but we had some awesome postpartum nurses. Like, I can still see their faces, especially the one after I had Nate. Y'all, I don't know why. I've talked to several people and they're like, same, this exact same thing happened to me. I read everything I could read about pregnancy, birth, how that was all going to go. Did not even think about postpartum. Like, what's it gonna feel like to, like, not have a baby? Like, do you remember, like, when you have a baby and then your stomach is, like, all squishy and it's painful and you have the, like, peri bottle that you have to squirt instead of wipe? You feel, like, terrible and you're exhausted, but you're still, like, you're trying to care for your new baby and you're nursing, and it was just hard. I never really even realized how hard it would be, and I had this great nurse after Nate, and she was like, "You're a first-time mom, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "I'm gonna tell you everything." And she was so patient. She walked me through how to do everything. She hooked me up with all the stretch panties and ice pads and all this stuff. And she was just so sweet. And then I had another postpartum nurse with Mark. And there was a time where he would not stop screaming. I think my milk hadn't fully come in yet. He was really hungry and impatient. And I just was crying. And she came in, and I swear, you guys, like, she cried with me. She was so compassionate. And I just remember feeling so validated and so heard, and all the hormones, and everything. And she was just so positive and sweet and encouraging. And like, that's such a gift to new moms. That is such a gift. Um That would be fun. If I could bring all of you guys over and we could just have one big, like, packing party, you guys would have me packed up in, like, an hour, probably. That would be so fun, really. That would be fun. Or we would just sit around and talk, we wouldn't get anything done. That would be funny. Northern Kentucky, yeah. You aren't far from us. Tennessee, you took the low estrogen ones. I've tried different ones over the years, and I don't know. I mean, I didn't have a lot of side effects from any of them, but I don't know. But birth control pills are, I don't know. I don't know. They're probably not the best. Will you rent or buy if you have to move again? I'm not sure. We would prefer to buy though. Renting, every time we've looked into renting a house, it is a bunch more than a mortgage would be. It's just renting is so expensive. And like I said, I like that we would be building equity in our home. We wouldn't just be paying rent. Like, it's a possibility that what we paid for this house 2 years ago, our realtor thinks we kinda talked to her about, like, what she thinks our house would sell for, and she said she thinks it would sell for higher. So the fact that we could live here 2 years and make money as opposed to just throwing rent, to a person and not never seeing that money again, I like the idea of buying, but if the right thing came along and it was the best option, I wouldn't be opposed to it. But, I really like having our own home too. You had a midwife and she was amazing. You only had one at 43. I actually, with Mark, had a midwife. She worked with our group, with a group of OBs, like she was with the doctor's group, but I just really liked her. I, s- it was like one of those things where you see, every time you go into your appointment, you'll see like every OB once. But when I got to actually choose, when I got done seeing all of them, I always chose the midwife. She was so nice. And the midwife actually was on call when Mark was born, and she's the one that delivered him. I just loved her. She was so sweet and like so down to earth. And I just love her. Now, with Nate and Lucy, I had a female OB and doctor. She was like, it was so crazy. Like, I did not know anybody in San Antonio. I just went to this practice and they were like, who do you want to make an appointment with? And I'm like, I don't know. And so they just stuck me with somebody. Well, before I could go to that appointment, before Nate, we had a miscarriage. And just so happened, the doctor that was on call that saw us was this doctor. And I completely fell in love with her. She was like talking to a friend. She was so cool, so down to earth. She was very knowledgeable, but she just put you at ease. And so I just started going to her, and she's the one that delivered Nate and Lucy. And she was amazing. Like, she told the nurses, I don't want you to even check her. I'm going to be the only one that checks her. My deliveries with them were just a dream. You know, I feel like with Mark, everybody and their mama was like checking to see how far along it was and stuff. But she was just so chill and she was amazing. And like when I had Mark, she cried with me, like when he was born. And every single appointment I went to, I was be so excited just to get to hang out with her. And when we moved, I was so sad. And then, getting pregnant again, I'm like, oh no, my doctor. But then I got that midwife and she was really cool too. Not as cool, but still pretty cool. So, hey, Jess, I'm so glad you got to see me live. Welcome. If you guys have any more questions, let me know. Has David had any more interviews? He's talking to some people. Not anything for sure yet, so I will definitely let you guys know as it gets like deeper and like more for sure. He is excited about a couple of things, one in particular. So be like praying with us that, if it's the right place, the door will stay open. If it's the wrong place, the will close. David says they take forever. For us, this last 2.5 weeks has felt like, actually, I guess, has it been officially 3 weeks now? I guess it's officially been 3 weeks. For us, these last 3 weeks have seemed like a year. Like, I'm not even kidding. And so, like, David sent out his resume sent to so many places, and they're so slow to get back with him. And when you're waiting for God to do things, you're like, God, where are you? Like, we're dying here. But it's only been 3 weeks. We're still early on to this, but we do have there's a door that we are cautiously praying that if it's God's will, it will stay open. So you guys be praying with us. You had the easiest pregnancy in history. You found out when you were 5 months and delivered at 7.5 months. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. You had Andrew and came home in the jeans from before you got pregnant. That has never been my experience, but that is crazy. I feel like I showed like the minute, not with Nate. I remember wearing my same jeans until I was like 6 months pregnant. I would just unbutton the top on or do a little ponytail trick. With Lucy, it was like, barely any time. And I started showing, but that's awesome. I can't imagine that'd be such a surprise to be like, oh, you're 5 months pregnant. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Jess. God is faithful. Do minister interviews have a process? Usually, from our experience, you could have like several phone interviews or FaceTime type interviews. And then usually the next step is going in person and kind of seeing the area and having more face-to-face interviews. A lot of times during that process, they want to meet me and we both go. And like our family and kind of make sure, because it's ministry jobs are not like any other job. Like if David had a job as a doctor, he would not bring me and be like, this is my wife. What can she add to this? But ministry is different because like you want to make sure like it's more than just a job. Like it's more. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. And they want to make sure it's a good fit for everybody. So David says it's much like dating. Yeah, it really is. It reminds me a lot of like that like awkward like first date. Um I don't do well with small talk like at all. I hate small talk. David's like the church, I mean, not the church, the chatty, like out of us. So I usually just like let him lead it. But like sitting around and like doing small talk is, I don't know. I just I feel like I am so socially awkward, which is crazy that I'm telling you guys this as I'm doing a live stream. But I have such social awkwardness. And I do this thing where I will analyze every single thing I say after a party, a meeting. We go home, I will replay every conversation I had in my head and I will critique it and drive myself crazy. Like, why did you say that? And I'm sure like nobody else is doing that that I was talking to. They probably thought I sounded fine, but I will just beat myself up and it's so annoying. I wish I could turn that off. I don't do that when I talk to you guys. I don't say like, oh, I wish I shouldn't have said that or whatever. I'm just myself. But in like real life, I do that and it is so annoying. Why do I do that? I just like I replay stuff. I'm like, "Oh, I shouldn't have said this. I should have said this. I shouldn't have done that." And I drive myself crazy. I don't know if any of you guys do that too, but that's so annoying. David's definitely more of the outgoing one. He loves to talk to people and stuff, and I need to get better at it. I will say as I've gotten older, it's gotten better, but it's still not great. Aw, Crystal, I love that you consider me a friend. I consider you best friends for real. Like I recognize your names and your pictures and your comments. And it's just you guys mean so much to me. I know I say that all the time, and it probably sounds like just something I say, but you really do mean so much to me. I can't imagine not having this outlet, especially going through hard times. I was thinking today, like, why did God put it in my heart? I know He put it in my heart to start doing daily vlogs. Like it just came to me. I wasn't planning on it. It just kind of was dropped into my heart, and I started doing daily vlogs. And I know I would have had a harder time if I didn't have an outlet to talk about it too with you guys and have all the support and all the prayers. Because I think if I wasn't doing daily vlogs, I wouldn't have had the I don't know what the word is, but like the will or the drive to just go ahead and announce what was going on. Like I could have done different types of videos where I didn't really have to talk about like real life stuff. And I may have just gone quiet for a couple days. Like having the daily vlogs really pushed me to tell you guys what was going on and to be open and show real life. And it was just it was a God thing that I do that. So yes, he can do more than we could ever hope or imagine. I love that Bible verse because, in so many ways we want to tell God how to fix stuff and how, God, if you would just do this with our house or do this with the situation or the school. God has plans far bigger than anything we can dream up, far bigger. Oh my gosh. That's crazy, Brenda. Oh my gosh. I had such hard like recoveries from childbirth. Not necessarily with Nate, although I did bleed a long time. Maybe that's TMI. I bled for like 8 weeks after him. It was like the cutoff if they said, if you bleed for longer than 8 weeks, come back in. Um, and like on that day, I stopped. But it was rough. And then the other two weren't as bad. But I feel like it's hard to recover from childbirth when you've got other kids to take care of. You don't just have a newborn baby, you have other older kids. It's hard. Aw, that would have been fun, Jess. I wish you got to visit us too. Me and David met online. I think I've told you guys this before. We met online, christianmingle.com. We are one of those success stories. I swear we need to like write one of their ads or something and like share our story, but we met on there. He came up under like I don't know what they used to call them, like matches or something. I never like paid for the site, but I just have like the free one or whatever. And he came up as like 96% compatible or something. And I think I smiled at him first. That's like the little emoji you would send someone. And then we started talking on the messenger or whatever. And then eventually not long after that, like the next day, we started talking on the phone. And before long, we realized we had been at the same summer camp different times. Like we weren't that far. We were only like 2.5 hours away our whole life from each other. We had been at similar places probably at the exact same time. We had friends in common and stuff. It was really weird. And then we met each other's family and it just moved pretty quickly. And the rest is history, as they say. Okay, I feel better that you guys say that you do the same thing because I always thought that's my mom. I'm gonna have to call her back. I always thought that I was the weirdo that um did that because every time I tell anyone that, they're like, "What? Why do you do that?" I don't want to do it. It's not something I look forward to doing, but I will like replay conversations all the time. I do think it's gotten better though, because I had several conversations with Nate's teachers today and Lucy's teacher. I did not replay my conversation at all, but that's on the phone. Like, I swear it's face to face that I struggle with this. And yeah, public speaking, mm-mm. I know, like, people are like, well, you're public speaking on your vlogs. It's not the same thing, y'all. I promise you, it is. When you're used to talking to a camera, it's totally different than like if I were to speak at church in front of even like 50 people, 20 people, I would have had like a panic attack. I don't like that at all. But for some reason, I can talk to 57 of you right here looking the hot mess and I don't feel nervous at all. It doesn't make sense. I don't know. Oh, Kelly, that makes me feel so happy that whenever you're feeling down, you watch my YouTube videos and they make you feel happy. I feel like it's such a hard balance. I want to show you guys real life, sometimes a little too real, but I don't ever want to make like discouraging content that makes you like feel sad. So it's a hard balance because like I cried to y'all, but I still try to make it positive because I wouldn't want to watch like some girl crying. But you truly are my friends, and I am so thankful for this outlet that I have. I just have like the best friends that will just listen to me and give me encouragement. You guys are the best. Okay, Elizabeth. Yes, I do that exact same thing. And why do we do that? Like, I keep praying every time it happens, like, God, please take this from me because I don't believe that you've called me to analyze every single thing I say and to drive myself nuts. Like, why do I do that? Like, it has to be the enemy because that's not from God. Like, it's not. It's just annoying. And, I'm really praying hard that that's going to go because it wastes so much time. It wastes so much time. Does Nate understand what's going on? Well, we have kind of told him, well, we may be moving to another state. And he just says no. So, um, he doesn't really understand. And I don't want to upset him at all, like by thinking about it. So until we know something like concrete, like we're going to take, like, if and when the right feel like I have something on my hand, but maybe that's just where my hand was resting. We'll let him see the area. It won't just be like we're moving to wherever and he's never been there. We're going to try to introduce him slowly. When we moved here, he didn't want to move to Indiana either. He loved Alabama. He loved his school and everything. And we came here to visit, and the hotel had a pool. And he associated Indiana with like this fun pool and all this stuff. And so he was thrilled when it actually came time to move. He loved his school, all of that. So I'm just trying to, not stress him out. He is the one I'm always worried about the most at every move. I'm always worried about him the most. He does the best every single time. Well, him and Lucy, he transitions the easiest. He just is like, I'm not even kidding. He is the happiest kid. He's just so full of joy, and it's really hard to get him feeling down. He's just really happy, and he usually just loves his new school, and it's all sunshine and rainbows. And I hope it'll be like that this time too. Um, you have the worst social anxiety. I work in retail. It doesn't bother me. Put me in a group with other moms. I freeze. Yes. I think like we get comfortable like I will say like when I first started doing YouTube, obviously I was more awkward than I am now. And so I think like if you're working retail, you're probably just more used to it. But then you get put in another situation and it's just totally different. I don't know. I'm the same way. David left the chat. Oh, David, leave the chat. Did you go on any other dates from Christian Mingle? Were there normal people on there or a lot of weirdos? Actually, I dated someone for a little while that I met. So this is what happened. Okay, I'm going to give you guys the backstory here. I was at a very secular college, and internet dating was not really a thing back then. I mean, people did it, but it wasn't like it is now. And I was at a very secular college. There wasn't anyone in my church that I was interested in. I had never really dated anyone. So my aunt was like, "You know what? You should go on like a Christian dating site. You can meet Christian guys and, see what happens." And I was like, "Okay." So I actually met someone like a year before David and dated for a few months. Didn't work out. And so after that breakup, they were the only two I ever talked to or went out with. Those two. It's not like I dated a bunch of guys on there. But after that, I was like, well, I wonder if there's any other guys on the site. And then, like, that very day, I met David. So I like to say that other relationship just did not work out because it wasn't meant to be, obviously. But there was not a lot of weirdos back then, I don't think. Did David say there were a few oddballs? Um, I didn't really talk to anybody else, so I don't know, but I will say I've heard from people that there's a lot more weird people now on dating sites. It just wasn't as prevalent back then. Now there's 1.5 million dating sites and everybody's on there. So we were just at the perfect time, and I swear we need to like write a commercial for them or something. Like I think you can share like your testimony success story, but that's the tea, as they say. Some people have that fear of speaking. I've humbly spoken in front of hundreds of people at church. That's great. David's David's not scared. Like he loves it. Like he loves public speaking. I wish I had that. Like I literally was so excited to do nursing school because, well, for several different reasons, but literally one of the reasons was it did not require public speaking in college. Like I did not have to do public speaking course. And if I was going to be a teacher or several other things I was interested in, I would have had to take a public speaking course. That's so stupid. But I just hated it. And what's funny, when I was in high school, middle school, high school, somewhere in there, had to take a public speaking part. I think it was just part of our English. Like we had to do a speech in front of our class. I remember being so nervous that I was shaking, like my heart was racing, my face was flushed. And at the end of all of the speeches, my teacher got up and she said, "There's this one girl that I want to acknowledge who did the most amazing speech I've ever heard. She enunciates perfectly. Her speech was well thought out and well presented." She just went on and on. I'm thinking, who is she talking about? It was me. And I couldn't believe it because on the inside, I thought like people could tell how nervous I was. So then I was like, well, if I'm so good at this, why do I hate it so much? It was really weird. And I don't know. Back then I was like, well, should I do something with this if she thinks I'm really good at it? I remember the speech was on Harriet Tubman. And she was like, the way she enunciated Harriet Tubman. I remember being like, what? But anyway, that's the story. And I just went the complete opposite direction and never did anything else public speaking wise. I can't even imagine like those. I've heard in like public speaking classes, you'll have to give like an impromptu speech or whatever on the spot, like come up with it in like 5 minutes. I think I would just die. Like, I don't even know how I would get through that. If I do speeches, I have to literally memorize them word for word, like word for word. Like, there is no like, oh, I'll just talk a little bit on this and then I'll move to that. No. And it's funny. Here's another little backstory. I used to practice my speeches. I guess I had several in high school. I had to practice my speeches. I always practiced in front of a mirror because I memorized it. I wanted to see myself speaking. And we had a big mirror over our mantle of our fireplace. And so I'd put my book on the mantle and stand on the fireplace. And I would practice these speeches. And one time, I was there just practicing the speech. And that mantle fell like, it was huge. I don't even know what happened. My dad looked and it was just like the builders had just barely like nailed them in. And thankfully my mom had some baskets on either side of the fireplace. And so it caught before it slammed down on my feet. I had so many health problems. If that had landed on my feet, that would have set me back. Like I had this nerve condition. I have a whole video on different health problems I had as a kid. But anytime I had any kind of injury, I would have nerve pain. That would have been so bad. And so my dad had to like really get the mantle back screwed in. But I just had this little binder sitting there. I wasn't leaning on it. I was just doing my speech and then oh my gosh, that was crazy. I always think of that. Speeches, mantle falling. Oh my gosh. People are getting catfish on Christopher Mingle. Yeah. Yeah. You have to be careful. And even back then, like I was super careful. You always meet in a public place. I remember like, you know, checking out Facebook, like, are they a real person? What's their family like? You have to be careful. But like I said, back then it was different than it is now. I don't even know how sketchy it probably is now. Christian Mingle I don't even know if they still have a free version. But they did when we were on it. And it was just like an easy way to like meet up with people that like, I don't know that me and David would have ever met. We were 2.5 hours away, but I was going to like from our hometowns, but I was going to school 4 hours south of my hometown. So we were literally on opposite ends of the state. So I don't even know if we would have ever met without it. So I'm very thankful for it, but you do have to be careful. My brother and sister-in-law also met online and they only met, I don't know, it's probably been 6 or 7 years by now, but it was a lot sooner than us. Maybe not quite that long. I don't know. But anyway, there are success stories, but you do have to be careful. Your old church was part of the Underground Railroad. That is so cool. Very cool. During your first speech, I got up to give my first speech. I froze and couldn't say anything. The teacher made you sit down and come back later. Oh, that's totally something that I could see happening to me. I'm glad that I guess did you get back and like redeem yourself, or did you like just drop the class? Do you want to say hi? Aw.
She came looking for you.
I brought Layla's bed in here to look how much Layla needs a haircut. Layla needs a haircut really bad. I brought her bed and put it right by me on the floor, but she didn't want to sit with me. You want to say hi to everybody? Hey, Mom. My mom's on. We're getting sleepy. Hey there, Layla. Layla, I keep telling David, Layla is my emotional support animal. I just keep holding her. Anytime I'm sad, she comes up to me and kisses me. She's the best, you guys. I love her so much. I told Dave I'm going to get like a little papoose and just wear her around. She'll help my anxiety. And she's so chill. Look at her. Mark terrorizes her though. He loves her so much that he is really rough with her. So she constantly is like trying to get rescued. Oh, sorry, Mom. I'll call you back. We're almost done here, but Layla is the best. Layla is 13. She'll be 13 in April, right? Yeah, she'll be 13 in April. So she's almost 13. And we've had her since like 6 months after we got married. And so she's been to every move with us. She's been to when me and David moved to San Antonio, she, look at her. She's like, I'm going to go to sleep on my mom's shoulder. When we moved to San Antonio, we didn't know anyone. And she was like, I needed her. Like God knew I needed her because she was like I said, she's always been my emotional support animal. She has been through every pregnancy with me, all the newborn stages. She's the best girl. Like she never chews up the kids' toys. She never hurts them. Like she is the ultimate mother dog. I remember when like Nate and Lucy would be newborns and crying, she would just look at them and look at me. Like anytime they cried, like, Mom, the baby, go get him. She's just the sweetest girl. Thanks so much, you guys. Layla is the best. Oh, I love hearing about y'all's fur babies too. Layla's we got her a vet appointment next week and a grooming appointment because she needs it. She is very shaggy right now, and she has her very long claws that need to be trimmed. We used to groom her ourselves, and it was just it's not easy. And so we've stopped doing that. We have a really good place around here that's not too expensive. So she's not going to be happy about it, but we're going to get her groomed next week. Yes. Oh, I hope your cat's okay, Carissa. Yeah, pets do really become part of the family, don't they? They really do. I mean, we've had Layla so much. I can't even imagine our life without her at this point. Right, Layla? She is literally so chill. She could just fall asleep right here. Do you guys ever watch those YouTubers that they'll have like a couch behind them when they're talking or whatever, and they'll just have their dogs? Like I watch Kendall Ray, and she'll have her dog like asleep behind her. I need to train Layla to do that. That'd be so relaxing to see on the video. What do you think, Layla? You want me to put you down? She looks tired. Oh, she's getting like a little white fur on her beard. She's so sweet. Okay, she's squirming. She's like, please put me down. You want to sit in your bed? See, I've got her bed right here. But she doesn't want to lay in it. She's like, let me go back to Daddy. I'm glad to hear he's doing better. That's scary. Layla scared us a couple times when she was a puppy. She would eat something that she wasn't supposed to. Like one time she ate a peach pit and like obstructed her. And we ended up not having to have surgery. I think she passed it. But one time she ate some chocolate cookies and I caught her and freaked out. And then we tried to do that thing where you put like peroxide or something, you get them to like vomit. She wouldn't vomit. And so we had to take her to the vet and they tried to give her like activated charcoal. She would not, like she took it, but she would not throw up. And so they ended up having to like run fluids and watch her. And that was an expensive vet bill. And she pulled through. Thankfully, she's not had any kind of emergency situations in a long time. She's very well, I mean, if you leave food out, she will get it. But in terms of like eating like non-food stuff, she doesn't do that anymore. One time when she was a puppy, she chewed through an electric outlet, like an electric cord, like power cord. I don't know how she didn't get shocked, but once she was through that puppy stage, she did a lot better. But all right, you guys, if you have anything else, I will stay on for just a couple more minutes and then I'm going to go and try to get some sleep. Because tomorrow we're back to school and I'll have to get up and do lunches and all. Today was nice because I didn't have to pack lunches. So we kind of slept in till about 7 because the kids have virtual learning. So I'm so glad they took good care of him. It's so sad when our pets are sick. No, your dog who passed loved chocolate ice cream. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I have heard like some dogs have like a tolerance to it or something. Layla survived the 2, like these were like double chocolate cookies. I was actually making them for Jen. Jen had had surgery. She had had surgery, and I was making her family dinner. And I think it was when she had her voice surgery. I was making her family dinner and I was making these chocolate cookies and I left them to cool on our bar in our apartment. And I didn't realize that she could get on the couch and reach the bar. And I came back into the room and she was whining because she could only reach 2 and she had eaten those and she was trying to get more. And I freaked out and we ended up having to take her to the vet and it was just I could not believe it. She survived. She survived, but they were kind of scared because her heart rate was up and all this. But I still think her heart rate was up because she hates the vet. But anyway. What time is it here? Here it is 10:03. So we are Eastern Standard Time. I think we're like 3 hours ahead of you guys in California. Mark hates chocolate ice cream but loves chocolate cake. Yeah. He does not like chocolate milk. He does not like chocolate. He does like M&Ms, Hershey bars, stuff like that, but he does not like really ice cream. He does like popsicles, but like ice cream he's not really a fan of. He loves chocolate cake and it has to be chocolate, not like white icing with chocolate cake. Yeah, it needs to be double chocolate cake. Um he doesn't like none of my kids like chocolate milk. It's weird. Even Lucy, she loves chocolate, but she does not like chocolate milk. Oh, lots of you guys are on Eastern time, 10 p.m. 10 p.m. That means we've been on here for about an hour and a half. Wow. All right, you guys, I am going to sign off. It has been so fun to talk to you. We will definitely do this again. Probably, like I said, it'll be next Tuesday night, but I'll let you know for sure. I'll let you know in the vlog, and then I'll also let you know on the community tab. If you don't get notifications, if you hit that bell, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell next to it, and that should notify you when I go live. But I've had so much fun hanging out with you. Thank you guys for being so awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna go call my mom. And I love you guys. You're the best. And I'll see you guys later. Stay tuned for tomorrow's vlog because it's a good one. Me and David are decluttering. I show you all kinds of wedding mementos and all of our embarrassing closet situation. But at the end, it does look a lot better. So that's what we're going to focus on. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you later. Bye, guys.